Good morning, students. I am Dr. Ritika, the faculty of CSC department. As an associate professor in Saitm Institute of Technology and Management, today I am going to deliver the lecture on the subject of our e-commerce, and today we will cover the topic of workface, work zone, workspace, and some staff-less organization. So it is related to our unit 3 topic which we cover today. We will cover in our slide. So let's start. What is Workface? The Workface created customer initiation engagement technology that helps companies market, sell, and support their products and services on the internet. So combining profile technology with real-time two-way communications like text, audio, video, video chat, Workface enables companies to engage with customers and prospective lives. Work zone. An optimal work zone is the area in which an employee can perform specific tasks or set of tasks while maintaining a comfortable and neutral posture. So work performed in the optimal work zone is less likely to cause musculoskeletal problems or injuries that work that require the employee to reach or apply force outside of this zone. The optimal work zone is sometimes referred to as the best work zone or a preferred work zone. Workspace. The workspace enables real-time project intelligence to replace the time-consuming, costly, and inaccurate project reports that are typically outdated by the time they are produced. So, to achieve more predictable outcomes and reliable forecast, organizations are consolidating projects data into smart AI ready platforms like Workspace capable of producing project intelligence that is automatically updating every minute of every day. Now next we will cover here as a designing an e-commerce model for a middle level organization. It is the next topic related to our unit 3, that is designing an e-commerce model for a middle level organizations. Now, business planning or analysis transaction handle of an e-commerce projects, conceptual design of an e-commerce project, and last is the infrastructure and resources required for an e-commerce project. So first is business planning of an e-commerce project. They, they include the phases of e-commerce project is the most important phase. So decision made at this stage can have disappointed effects later in the project. So the organization that go into the technical planning and project selection phase without understanding the business issues will eventually resolve them, but to work around problem rather than to do the project right first time. So some online business planning involves project management, market analysis, analyzing product offering, analyzing business processes. So first is the project management. The development of your online stores need to be looked at as a project. So set it up with business objectives, a budget, and a time scale as you would any other projects. Like all projects, it needs to be planned and monitored. So you should be able to answer the following questions positively once the project properly is underway. They are: have you identified a project manager who has the skill to manage this important project? Does that person have the ability to make decisions quickly or access to someone who has? Is there a written project plan with deliverable and milestone identified? Will you have a single point of contact for outside suppliers? Does the project have a sponsor at the highest level in the organization, normally director level? So all the processes, all the questions, they give the positive answers, positive responses, which is based on our project management Market analysis. Your store has to be relevant to your market. So they create some objective like an attractive website which will promote the merchant and encourage visitors to purchase. A catalog that will attract visitors. An efficient catalog which will allow visitors to find the products they want easily and quickly. Most of all, a site that sells by demonstrating value and quality. So, to achieve the best result, you need to understand your market, like reasons. Are you targeting domestic? Type. Are you selling to the general public or the business? Technologies. Will your customer be technological aware? Will they have up to date and efficient technology available? Awareness. Is your target market likely to understand the process of electronic payment and be comfortable with it? Payment method. What will be the preferred payment methods? Online credit cards, fixed credit cards, checks, customer account number, and some PO numbers. Next is the currency. What currency will your target market be comfortable paying with? New market. Are you serving an existing market for your company, or do you aim to use the internet to open up a brand new market for you? Style. Is your customer base expecting to see a stylish, graphic rich site, or are they more down to earth looking for an efficient method of purchase? Creating traffic. How will you market find your website? Means brand recognition. People will look for your site. Advertising both on and off the net. Search engines find people looking for your product type. Then new customer, can you rely on good traffic and sales once launched for an exciting royal customer base, or with internet customer be entirely now? Now, next is the analyzing product offering. So, as with any business path, definition of the offering is essential. The designer of the application need to understand the offering before they start. Like benefit, what unique benefit do you offer? Added value, do you offer added value such as warranties or after sale services? Special offers, do you need to make special offers from time to time, both for marketing and for stock disposal reasons? Product sets, what product do you want to offer on the net? How much? Average value, is it your complete product line or a subsets? Next is technical. Are the products very technical, requiring exact specification, or are they generic and instantly understood by the customer? Pictures. Are images required to describe the products? How detailed needs these images be, and how many will be needed for an average product? Delivery. How is the product delivered? What shipping options are offered and how are they changed? Ordering options. Are there multiple ordering options for each product? Example like size, colors. Pricing. How is the product priced? Do ordering options imply a different price? Pricing. How is the product priced? Do ordering option imply in the price product? Now next is a descriptive and graphic information. Does graphical product information already exist, or will it have to be created from scratch? Is it in a machine readable form? So all these things are include descriptive and graphical informations. Now next is analyzing business processes. So once e-commerce operation is set up, it all need to function efficiently. If you plan to take credit card payment, a primary issue is your bank and any requirement they may have. So they are taking a certain amount of risk. If merchants gets into financial difficulties, it is not unknown for the companies to continue to receive payment while not shipping goods. So in this course, dissatisfaction customer will demand a refund. which the bank will have to meet. If merchant is bankrupt, then the bank will end up having to meet this liability. Clearly, the bank is going to want to check credit references. So your bank may tell you that they will not permit payment to the received from the internet. So they are the two possible reasons for telling you is first, the bank has a firm policy and you do not conform to the parameters. Second, you do conform to the requirements of the bank, but your representative does not understand the issues. Now, question to ask is bank, which bank do you use? How important is your business to that bank? Next, credit cards. Do you have to complete the credit cards authorization, payment processes online, or can it be done manually? Authorization. Does authorization of card payments need to be separate step for debating of the cardholder accounts? Can these two steps to combine because quickly shipment of products can be guaranteed? Now, fulfillment. The internet may be open up new market, but you have to able to fulfill these orders like staffing. Do you have a flexible administrative staff that will be happy to deal with online processing? Shipments. If your market is currently domestic, but you expect to sell overseas, what fulfillment method will work? Warehouse. Can you ship directly or should you set up overseas depots or agreement agents? Support. Can you support overseas users of your product? Call servicing means you may have a call center, but does it operate round the clock? Does it operate 24 hours a day? So hours should you look to be extended the working day, or should you outsource to a call center operations in order in other time zones? Now next is the computer network. The catalog has to be run on a computer that is permanently attached to the internet. While many technology departments will be enthusiastic about developing this for their company, and this will involve a very significant cost, like the server itself will be a fairly significant piece of equipment. Connections to the internet will require an expensive lease lines. The ISP, that is the Internet Service Provider, will also make a significant charge to support a permanent high-speed connections. The acquiring bank will almost certainly lay down security guidelines which may involve a firmwares. Next, once set up, the system must be run and support 24-hour basis. So the direct cost of such an endeavors for the first year is likely to be well into five figures and normally will be in six. So give the margin on most goods and the necessity to process the order and ship the goods. Such a site is unlikely to be profitable unless it turns over millions of pounds worth of business. So at the business planning stage, consider if there are any overriding reasons why the operation should be in-house and outsourced. So do you need to link the e-commerce systems to your current order of processing systems? Does your bank have technical guidelines for the way in which payment may be accepted? Now next is the conceptual design. As the user profit profiling, the task analysis and the formulation of design recommendation, it is a time to move forward into the design work. So the first step is to create a conceptual design of a system to be. Now conceptual design is the structure of the system as received by the users. So as an analog, it is useful to think about a house. You would not start out by choosing the wallpapers if you were about to build a house, but instead question like where to place the kitchen and bathroom and where you should enter the house would be reasonable to ask. The representation all are included in our conceptual design of the house. So there are the two reasons why it is very important to make a conceptual design an explicit part of the interface development. First is, will conceptual design will be made whether you make it explicit or not. A house has a planning and a book has a structure. So whether it is good or bad depends on how much effort was put into the work. Now second, it is always more expensive to improve a bad conceptual design than a bad detailed design. Just as it is more expensive to move a bathroom than to change wallpaper. Within system development, it is quite common that bathrooms are either moved or left in the middle of the kitchen, where they happen to be placed, because it is too expensive to change later in the project. So it is also common that bathrooms are forgotten completely, or that you find your bathroom then bedroom. So all these embarrassing mistakes are eliminated during the conceptual design, where the following questions are asked: what service is the system to offer? How should they be structured? How should they be made available to the users? So these are the primary reasons which is rise during the conceptual designs. Now, main conceptual design means to creating a high level structure of the system, where some concepts and entities which the designer believes should form the system are described and should focus on questions such as the ones above. Therefore, it is important to work on the service levels. One way is going about this is using a notation which does not permit the discussion to go into details. The notation recommended is the user environment diagram, which contains the concepts of activities, services, and objects. User environment diagram is one concrete examples of notation of the conceptual model. So it is very similar to object-oriented analysis and design, but an important difference is the purpose. So as opposed to the object-oriented models, user environment diagram deals only with what the system looks like for the user's perspectives. Some implementations matters are secondary. By means user environment diagram, it is impossible to discuss question concerned which service are to be offered. So another important issue which is related to our conceptual design are how the service should be presented to the user, which conceptual model is the interface to convey, should perhaps a metaphor to be used to make the expenses of the users in different areas, what user information is needed if the users are to be able to make use of the service offer. So these conceptual model is represented by the user environment diagram, is a primary tool used by the development team, which is difficult to use it as a tool for communication. Next is, and the last is, the infrastructure and resource required for an e-commerce system. So it is based on the internet. So which follow some basic elements of infrastructure required for e-commerce systems are: internet, it is a network of hundreds and thousands of interconnected networks; NSP, that is network service provider, which runs the backbone; ISP, that is the internet service provider, which provides the delivery subnetworks; TCP/IP is the standards of over 200 protocols define the language of the internet, which is the most common element of the internet include email, that is the electronic mail, which is sent over the internet electronically instead of over the roads via the US postal services. So email delivers a message almost instantaneously to anyone in the world. The message go into electronic mailboxes for users to read at their convenience. FTP, that is file transfer protocol, is a method of transferring files to or from another companies, whether you hear to someone talking about downloading or uploading are taking place. Now next is the WW, that is the World Wide Web, W3 or web, which is become a worldwide phenomena. So they follow the application of your knowledge of internet addressing, hierarchical directory structures, and the application variations of command element let you navigate by clicking on word or pictures. www is only one of many parts of the internet. Next is the Gophers, which is the first internet application that is used a manual driven approach to navigation. So they are based on the concept of or component of the www in which we enjoy today. So they contain large bodies of text which will be available through the internet. Next is the Usenet or Newswork, which is started from an individual of the few campuses want to share information with posting that anyone could access and read. So if you start reading or participating in these groups, anyone of the world has access to message that you post to a news group. Telnet is the program that allow you to remotely connect to and use a computer somewhere else. Next is the URL, that is Uniform Resource Locator, that give a specific address for a specific site. Domain name, which refers particular computer on the internet. HTTP, that is a hypertext protocol, which is a set of rules or protocol that governs the transfer of hypertext between two or more computers. And next is the web server or web browser, which is the piece of software which acts as an interface between user and the inner working of the internet, especially the World Wide Web. They also refers as web clients or universal client because client server model the browser functions as the client program. So on the behalf of user, they contain contacts a web server and send a request for information, receive the information and then display it on the user's computer. Web server is a computer that is responsible for accepting HTTP requests from clients, which are known as web browsers, and serving them web pages normally used by HTML documents. Firewalls is a piece of hardware or software which functions in a network environment to prevent some communication forbidden by the security policies, analogous to the functions of firewall in building constructions. So summary: business planning phases of e-commerce system involves project management, market analysis, analyzing product offering and analyzing business processes. In conceptual design means the work of creating a high level structure for the system. E-commerce systems are based on internet. So various elements of infrastructure required for e-commerce is NSP, ISP, TCP/IP, domain name, web browsers, web servers and HTTPS. So it is the summary related to our slides. And the question which are raised related to these topics are: first question, explain business planning for e-commerce system. Second, what is conceptual design? Explain its role in e-commerce project. Explain the following in brief like NSP, ISP, TCP/IP, domain name, HTTP, firewalls, web browsers and web servers. They are the questions raised during the topic which is related to our e-commerce unit 4. So students, it is all over about our e-commerce topics. So I hope you all are understand. So students, thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you students.